if you want to be independent, and do things on their own as far as, women empowerment. I get that, but it's certain things I feel like if a man's in the picture, a woman shouldn't have to do.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Let's Add Value podcast with Ron and Marcus. I'm one of your hosts, Ron Dunham, and this podcast is where real talk meets real strategies meets real value.
Hey, and I'm Marcus, the other co-host of Let's Add Value podcast. And today we have some and I mean interesting questions, answers, and people. And so before we get into it and dive into it, we're going to start with the introduction and we're going to start with the ladies first. And the first one I'd like to introduce is Miss
Hello,
Mallory.
everyone. My
Go
name is
ahead and speak.
Mallory Higgs. I am a licensed therapist, mental health therapist. I actually launched today an announcement of my first annual mental health sports therapy workshop. It's going to be held at give myself a plug on July 26th in downtown Atlanta and a business network. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I'm a former UT Lady Vol, actually Lady Vol. I ran track at Tennessee. Let's see what else. I have two sons. Yeah. I met Marcus. We worked together for almost 10 years. So got to know him really well and grateful, honored. Appreciate you thinking of me.
Gotcha. All right. Next up, we have Miss Shay Shay.
Okay, I'm Shay. My introduction is not as cool, I work in IT for a major hospital in the Charlotte area, so I live in Charlotte. I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina, not Georgia. So that's actually where I'm at right now, visiting family. I used to also run track, back in the day. I went to Appalachian State, ran track there long time
Me
ago, and
too.
a few pounds ago as well.
Gotcha. Welcome to the show, both of you ladies. Now we're
Thank
gonna
you.
go over to the fellas. We're gonna move over to the fellas first. I'd like to introduce my man Dwayne.
Hey, family, how y'all doing? My name is Dwayne Mitchell. I am 34, born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I went to Fort Valley State University, graduated 2013 with a bachelor's in psychology. I now work at an industrial distribution center in Atlanta, in Douglasville, called MasterCard. And that's all I got, y'all. Man of God, I love music. I love having a good time. I love fellowshipping. Yeah, that's all.
Gotcha. Well, welcome, my man. And next up the bat, we have Mr. Coro.
I'm gonna keep this short and sweet, good people. Coral, my name's Coral. I'm originally from Connecticut by way of Georgetown, South Carolina. Met Marcus, went to school with Marcus. I've known him for a long time. I'm a graduate of Benedict College up in Columbia, South Carolina. Bachelor's in Business Administration with a concentration in marketing. I currently work with my brother in the mental health field. We have a company here called Ace Community Support Services. So welcome, and thank you guys for having me.
All right. Now
Marcus,
we got the good
get
stuff out
started.
the way.
We got
Huh?
we got our very own club, Shay Shay. I didn't even think about that, right?
We got our own club station here,
My
right?
goodness.
I got you. So today we just going to do some fun stuff, right? We usually do a lot of stuff in the mental health space and then some other places as well. But today we decided let's just have some fun, right? So this is just raw energy, just some spontaneity, and we just going to kind of shoot, right? So y'all ready? All right. So question number one. Question number one. Who lies more in the relationship, men or women?
Man,
I'll agree with that. But it's a caveat to that. It's a caveat. I'll say why you say man, Shay.
honestly, I'm just a girl's girl, so I'm just gonna say say men anyway. I don't have no logic behind why I said it.
Are you speaking from experience or that's just the generic
That's
answer?
just me. That's just me, man. Yeah, but I would honestly, when I think about it, I feel like men do a lot more, and it's probably just to protect. Oftentimes, it'd be like to avoid a confrontation,
Thank
maybe.
you. That's
Yeah.
what I was going to hit at to avoid confrontation and protect your feelings a lot. But I digress to the therapist on the tape.
So
So,
is
so
lying ever justified?
I'm gonna bounce off that question. Do you feel like women lie in relationship just in general at all, or do you just feel like the question is more? I get that, but do you feel like women sometimes lie at the same time too, or no? Or do you think that's not the case most of the time? Be honest.
Women don't lie.
Wow. Okay.
This is gonna be a short segment.
Yeah. That's it. Okay. All right. All right. Hold on. Rewind. Let me make sure I got the flow. So women don't lie at all about it. You don't feel like in general, just for the most part, women don't lie at all.
But
Okay.
said, no, that ain't what you doing. Okay, okay. She say women don't.
You know,
Somebody mighty quiet down there.
Yeah.
that's what I'm waiting for.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking for these here under the camera, right?
She about to do rapid fire over here. I could tell. Okay, okay. All right, so we gonna come back to that one if you feel
Yeah, I
like
got
it.
circle back.
Now I got a question for you. This is another one. Should a woman pump gas while her man sits in the car?
Hell no.
Absolutely not. I'm sorry.
No.
I think
She
we probably
shouldn't.
can all
No.
agree on this.
Yeah,
Huh?
she should not. She should not. If that man is willing, if that man is able, not even willing, if that man is able to get his ass out the car, he should be pumping the gas, regardless of who card is being used. Her card, his card, he should get out the car and pump the gas. Yeah.
What if she says, I got this?
That's a problem, and that's what's problem with them right
Carl,
now. They don't allow a man to be a man. You know what I'm saying?
we
I said it. I said it. Allow a man to be a
nah.
man. Allow a man to be a man. If that man is sitting in his car and he listen to music, not doing anything, you should not come out your mouth with "I got it." You
That
should
go the
not.
same thing for taking out trash or doing anything else. I'm sorry. As far as though, I'm
Wait,
sorry. In certain things, I think the generations kind of like changed sometimes or shifted to where I get it. Certain people want to be independent, and do things on their own as far as, women empowerment. I get that. But it's certain things I feel like if a man's in the picture, a woman shouldn't have to do. This is how I was raised. That's just how I feel. I don't know. But yeah.
That's interesting.
wait, hold, because prior to we going live, Mallory was full of comments, so full, so on. I hope I ain't shut her down. I'm just
Okay,
saying,
so got
like we,
quiet.
yeah, yeah. So like I think both of you guys like had an expression that I possibly wasn't paying attention to. So do you think if you in a car and you and your man pull up to the gas station and you say I got it,
If I
what
was in
what
a
a response are you
with
expecting?
a male and I have two male sons, they get out the car and they pump the gas. So I'm training my sons to do what you guys are in agreement. I'm in agreement with you guys. I'm in agreement with you. I do. I'm going to sit there and wait for them to
Okay.
pump the gas.
You just gonna wait for okay. All right, I got you.
Oh,
We're gonna do another one out there. Ron, you got one?
Yeah. Let's see here. Why do people keep score of every favor or every mistake someone makes?
When you say people, what gender you referring to, bro?
Okay, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if man or male or female. So if you're in a relationship, we see that most people do keep score. Like I did this for you several times and you didn't return the favor. Why does that come up so often in
I
relationships
think
today?
it's
When
a
it should.
personality thing, and I think it's a maturity thing. Yeah, I think if you've got a person,
Uh,
if we're talking like love languages, I'm quality time, physical touch, right? I'm not gift giving or words of affirmation. If I'm dating someone and he's words of affirmation and he keeps telling me you're beautiful, I love you, and I'm not giving it back. I'm not giving it back not because I don't want to, right? But it's not my first line of communication. It's not an intentional thing. So I'd have to be intentional, but if that's what that person needs or if that's what that person wants, it's probably going to be difficult for me, not impossible, but difficult to possibly make him feel the way he wants to feel all the time because of that. That's my take on
Can we add a, a, a little bit to that? Who do you think keeps score more?
that. It's
Shay.
starting to seem like it's going one way with Coro.
I know. I know you want me to say women. That's what you want me to say, but I'm not gonna. I don't.
I think it's personality. I
You
think
want
it's
you to say the truth.
personality. I think it's
No, it's not
personality.
the truth. That's not the truth. I think it's
I think it's
personality as well
personality.
too.
You think it's I think it's personality.
And let me say this:
Yeah.
Oh
givers and
no.
takers. And if you've got a giver constantly giving, right, and a taker is constantly taking, then yeah, they're going to possibly feel it's going to feel lopsided, right? But if you have two givers, there's going to probably be balance, right? And so I just think depending on who you this is happening with, right? Is this happening with a person that loves me, that all they do is take from me, right? And I'm speaking from example. I mean, I'm speaking from experience because I had to learn. I'm a giver. I had to learn how not to give to everybody, right? I had to learn that, and I learned it late in life, right? I gave because I wanted to, but now I'm more mindful who I give to. So I give to takers, but I have boundaries now with takers.
You answer my question in a roundabout way, and this is what. And let me try to gather what I got from that and what I was gonna say. Yes, when I think women naturally are more givers. They're nurturers. They're givers. Therefore, they tend to give more. In hindsight, well, not hindsight 2020, but to answer my question, I think women will keep count more because they are naturally givers. That's what I think. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a reason behind why women will keep score more than men because again, although a man is a provider, women are naturally like givers. They nurture. So I think that was what I was
That's
kind
a
of
good
like fishing
response.
for. But that was my rationale behind that response.
Okay, okay. I can roll with that one. I can roll with that one. So this one right here, Dwayne. I got one for
Mhm.
you, Dwayne.
I'm listening.
If a man is interested in the lady,
Mhm.
should he buy drinks for the whole group
Thank
or
you.
just for
Okay.
her?
Oh my God, this is so hot right now. Like,
Okay. All right.
I'm a,
I will
you
say
think
this.
right
I
now. Go
I
ahead.
will I will speak from experience. I've done this before. I bought a drink just for a specific lady before, and I've bought a drink for the whole table before or whatnot. I will say this. I don't feel like, in my opinion, I don't feel like that I should feel like it's my responsibility or anything to buy drinks for the whole table if I'm interested in you, just in general. But a lot of guys, I will say this, a lot of guys, okay, a lot of times I will say this, it's a power move. A lot of times, I'm gonna leave it at that. A lot of guys feel like, okay, if I show her that, okay, I'm gonna buy drinks for the whole table, I'm not only interested in her, I'm gonna show her that, one, I got money, and two, that I'm gonna make sure your friends are okay too. Now, I'm not saying that person won't do that in the future, but just in general, a lot of times dudes will use it as a power move. The problem with that is, a lot of times when you're out at a bar, nightclub, or whatnot, and they will use that. A lot of females in the future will use that, say, "Well, okay, I had a dude buy a drink for the whole table before, so you should do the same thing if you want to talk to me or whatnot." Well, I'm here. Well, you buy drinks for my friends too, or what are we doing? And then if you don't do that, well, oh, he must ain't got no money, or he must not be interested in me like that to the extent. I will say that I'm not. Now I'm just telling you what I've gotten before in the past. Not that somebody said that, but I'm just saying like I've bought drinks for a whole table before, and I've just bought a drink for somebody I'm interested in. So
I think that's a new
it's
generation
that's a
issue.
sticky slope to run down. That's why I kind of gotten away from.
I think that's a
Oh no,
new generation
I've gotten away
issue,
from that.
right? I think that respectfully,
Uh, uh,
ultimately, it's up to the guy, to me, right? And if he has the financial capabilities to be able to buy the whole table, right? And he wants to do that, then that's his choice, right? We're talking about choices, right? If he's interested in that one person, right? He doesn't necessarily have to, but if he has the financial means to, because what happens is if he does that, you're setting up the expectation that it's always going to be like that. And then, he can't maintain that. Maybe he can't maintain that. Let me correct that. He might not be able to maintain that all the time, right? And now it becomes an issue. So you got to kind of set you know, the foundation early so that people know what to expect later.
so let me ask you this: so a dude buying a drink for the whole table sets a precedent in the future that he's able to do
Not
this
not
going forward,
necessarily that
just
he's able, but the
all the time.
expectation that he's going to do it, right? So it could be both. It could be both, right? But I just think that if I believe it's a topic of conversation of a newer generation, right? I can sit back and think about, growing up, or and sometimes people did it, sometimes they didn't, but you are their money, right? When you are expected.
Well, can I ask you this question? The dudes that did do it in the past that bought this for a whole table or whatnot, did you find that more attractive, or did that kind of, I mean, was it a difference whether than the
Stuff
guy
like
just
that
came up and said,
doesn't
"Let me buy you a
attract
drink"? Did you find it? Oh wow, you bought this
stuff
for
like
all of
that
us.
doesn't attract
Did
me.
your mindset change?
Doesn't attract me. That's
Uh,
I mean,
You
I
okay,
sure?
I hear what you're
let me
saying, but
let me make sure
at the
I
same
say
time,
this,
like
right? Because I don't
everybody
want to
doesn't
come
feel the
across
same
the
way.
wrong way. I appreciate the gesture, right? I'm grateful for the gesture, right? But that gesture specifically is not one that makes me feel like, because he did that, right? That you know that's going to draw me nearer to him, closer.
And that's the thing. I will piggyback off that and say a lot of dudes will do that and now feel like you are in debt to them. So now you owe me your number, you owe me a date, you owe me something. I'm about drinks for all y'all. What are you talking about? I mean, I'm not saying you are, but a lot of times, a lot of dudes will do that and then feel like,
But
okay,
but
cool.
but
I'm
I
bought
think
this for
we're
the whole
talking
table. She
about
owe me
maturity
something now.
levels,
Like,
right?
on this,
We're talking about maturity levels. And
no,
so,
you're right. You're right.
if and I and I have sons. I have two sons, 25 and 29, and I have told them not to do that, right? I've told them not to do that, partly because they are at an age where they're
Mhm.
building their foundation, right? And so, they have done it, I'm sure, right? I'm sure they've done it, but I have advised them not to do it, right? Because again, I think that it's setting a precedent, right? And the wrong expectation, and knowing, that not anymore. But you living with me and you buying, $300 worth of drinks, right? But you living at home, not anymore, right? But I'm just using that as an example. So
So so we're gonna shift the Shay. You at the little lounge, you chilling, you at the bar, you doing your thing. A dude approached you and he said, "Hey, I want to buy you a drink." And now you say, "Well, you gotta buy my girl's drink." What happens if he doesn't do it? What's your thought process? What go through your head? Oh, what would you be thinking?
Honestly, I wouldn't even proposition that he buy my friend a drink. Like, if
Yeah.
he did, then I would be like, yeah, like, thank you, I guess. But then I would kind of not take him seriously. I would feel like he a trick. No,
Well, what we
She
talking
ain't
about?
lying.
I
That's
She
a
think
ain't lying.
that's an instant
I'd be
red
like,
flag.
okay,
You
well,
gotta buy
thanks
my
for the
girl drinks
drink.
too. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're not even making financially smart decisions in this economy. It's crazy. Like you buying everybody a drink. Okay, thanks for the drink though. Like, that's crazy.
And do you know
What
how
you
many
think,
girls
What?
actually do that? It's just a general, like, all right, you gonna come off as a simp then. I'm sorry, like, okay, we can use him for something. I mean, seriously, like, if you, all right, cool, I'm gonna buy all y'all drinks, it's fine. First thing, a lot of people, I'm not speaking for y'all, but a lot of times in general, if a dude come off of, I just want to throw money, I just want to buy drinks, so for all y'all, they gonna look, okay, I might not be interested in this guy, but he got money, he willing to buy all of us drinks. Okay, we can go out
is
again, and
that
he gonna
is
pay for
that what
all of
you're
us.
attracted?
I mean, that's just you can have no interest in that guy whatsoever. And that's why you can't do it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why you can't do it. That's why I stopped doing that a long time ago. In general, that's it. Because I've been there, done that. I know how the game works. I know how. Like seriously, once a female, a lot of times, if she's not interested, that's why a lot of times when you approach a female, whatnot, you got to find out if she's interested in you. I get it. You have friends. You with a group of people or whatnot. You can conversate and indulge in conversation and whatnot. But when it goes to spending money or showing, putting your money and stuff, you can't be like, all right, I'm gonna buy all y'all. I'm gonna pay all y'all to get in. Or no, you can't do that. I'm sorry. I've stopped doing that a long time ago. Long time ago. Okay.
I
When you
got you.
start buying drinks, you're gonna eventually start buying wings.
I just it's happened to me a couple of times too. That's why I was like, yo, that's interesting, right? And then, I know more people who go in there and do that little flex now. So I was like, But it was interesting just to see how you guys kind of really rock with that because it varies on both sides, right?
It does.
I'm just one of those ones, you do what you do, you know.
Yeah.
I'll say
It
If
this
you
does.
though.
feel like flexing that day, you flex.
And that's the thing though. Some dudes, a lot of guys get off by that, just in general. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna come out here and look like I got it, even though they may not have it like that. Still, just looking like that guy or whatnot, they feel like, oh, cool. I'm gonna buy drinks for everybody, or whatnot. I'm gonna come off as
But
I'm that guy, and that just,
so
I'm sorry, no,
for
I'm good,
me, well, you
I'm
know what?
good,
I'm interested in
good.
what you have to
That's
say, Coral. Go for it. For me, what were you going to say?
Well, I had it happen to me one time in the past where I seen a group of girls and offered to buy her a drink, and she said, "Well, I think she wasn't with a bunch. She was maybe three or four girls." So I bought the group a drink, and then I bounced. That turned me off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So she asked you to buy everybody a drink.
yeah, she was like, "You getting my girls one?" And I'm like, "What y'all got? What y'all drinking?" I bought the drink and then I bounced. I didn't even speak to her. I didn't get the number. It was me letting her know like you're a red flag. I got it. I'm good, but I'm no simp. So I kept it pushing. So the next time you gotta be smarter about it. I'm gonna put guys. If y'all post this, I'm gonna put guys on the game. If you see a bunch of girls. Don't go ask that chick to buy her a drink. Find the bartender, ask the bartender what is she drinking, send her over a drink, tell the bartender, like, yo, the young man over there, the gentleman sent you a drink. There it is. If she interested, she may buy you a drink back or she'll say thank you or whatever the case may be. But don't be no sucker. Don't be a sucker, guys. Don't be a sucker. And I'm glad Mallory teaching her boys not to be suckers. You know what I mean? So
I
that's
do
that's my
like, and
take
that
on
has
that.
happened before. So I do like that,
Okay, I
Coral, where
got
you
you.
said, go to the bartender. I do like that. That has happened before. And that's a
Yeah,
nugget I'm getting ready to tell my
who's ever
son.
serving her? Yeah. Yeah, who
Yeah, but you know what?
That's what you might.
They get
Hey, they probably already know it now. They
yeah, they
probably
get
not.
all the
Hey, they
posts. They get
probably
all
flex and
those
be like, I
mommies.
lost money on this one.
Don't
I
do
can't
this
do
to
this
the
one again.
sons. Like they be like, Mom, stop tagging me and posting me in this. I'm trying to tell y'all not to do this, right? There was a topic of converse. Well, never mind.
Huh? Okay.
What did
Yeah,
you say? It's
and
a
so
maturity
what's
level, like you
happening
said.
is,
Like,
in my opinion, right? Let me make sure I clarify that. In my opinion, what's happening is you teach people how to treat you, and so when you are out and about, if you are creating an environment where, one, if you're immature and you don't know who you are and you've got self-esteem and you lack confidence and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, you've got to build yourself up to do that, to impress the girls, right? That's a whole nother issue, right? That's a whole nother issue that we're dealing with, because you are trying to validate yourself by trying to impress other people, as opposed to just being interested in this young lady and saying, hey, I saw you across the room and, I'd love to buy you a drink, right? And to your point, Paror, well, and hopefully I'm saying your name correctly. Hopefully, she is interested and she's not offering or asking for her other friends, right? But there was a post recently, this past week, last week, where this mother came on and she was talking about how she's got sons, and I could relate to it, and I did post it, where you've got young girls who are being influenced by their mothers to expect my sons to buy them $200-300 dinners and hair and food, clothes, and pay these bills, and they living at home, they're in high school or in college trying to get themselves together, and they don't have that money. That money's coming really from their parents, unless they've got a small job, and if they've got that small job, it still is not creating the type of money that is needed to sustain that type of lifestyle. So again, you're starting the relationship wrong, and what's happened is you create a situation where you've got to try to maintain that situation, and it becomes a stressful relationship and ultimately marriage if you move forward with that.
You know, it's interesting. I agree with that, right? I do see it, right? So, one of the things that just hit me while y'all were talking was, if you find it, what do you
Confidence.
find attractive in the opposite sex? What
Confidence.
draws you?
Yeah, for sure.
That's the flex.
So a guy walks in the room. He walks in the room. What you see? What
That
makes you be like, you
swag.
know what? I need to see what he about.
You know what,
I define the
typically it's
swag.
a
Let's talk about the
aura,
swag.
right?
What's
They
all
give
with the
off,
swag?
they're not trying to draw attention however they draw it. right? They're not trying to, impress people, but they're doing it, so they're not intentionally trying to get people's attention to look at them or to focus on them, right? It just automatically kind of goes there. The attention automatically shifts, right? You know what?
What about their outfit?
Person could
Y'all don't
have
be looking at their fit?
t-shirt and some raggedy
Y'all don't look at
jeans
their
and still
shoes?
come off, confident and secure. You can go from, look, I always say, I can go from flip-flops to 5-inch heels, right? Which one, you baseball cap, which one you want. So again, it doesn't, I think it's how you carry yourself.
But it's got to start with physical attraction first, though, right? Correct or am I wrong?
I'm about to say
But that
somebody ain't
wasn't,
being
that
honest
question
totally here.
wasn't
Y'all
asked
up here
though,
playing
right?
games.
But
I need some
So
real
so
stuff.
so if
what's
a dude walk in the
attractive,
room busted looking or
right? But
whatnot,
but
but he
what's
walk in like
attractive
he's
to you
just
may
super
not be
confident.
attractive
Well,
to
females are
Marcus. That
different
may
from us,
not be
bro.
attractive
They're
to
different from us.
Ron. So again, physical attraction is all in the, in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, I think females are different from us though. They could see a guy and see, as Mallory was saying, he got a little aura about himself, he got a little swag, he got a little confidence about himself. Man, we visual creatures. We want to see some big asses, a big or nice walk. You know what I'm saying? Some tight fitting clothing. You know what I'm saying? But again, I think that's more the maturity that Mallory was talking about earlier. Younger days, you got to have a chain on, you got to have something name brand on, and not realizing that. And that's the thing with our people wearing all these name brands, but everybody who own the name brands, they walk around in t-shirt and some jeans. You don't even know what they wearing, but we have to wear their name brand up and down. So it's all about maturity as well. That's going to be a lot of different demographics that will
But
answer that
and I think
question
it
a
goes
lot of different
also, I
ways. You know what
a
I'm saying?
1000%
So
agree.
I
And I
think
think it goes back to home, right? What's being taught at home, right? Because I remember growing up, me and my sister, and we had access, right? But we would go to the Goodwill and buy our Levi shorts and cut them and make our own Daisy Dukes. You know what I mean? And they're selling them now for hundreds of dollars, right? And we still can go do that. And I've done it, right? So, you know, I think it's right. So it goes back to who your parents are, what type of experiences have you had, right? What type of environment do you live in? And what are your experiences?
Okay. Okay. I'll give you that. I'll let you go. I got it. So now let's go. I'm gonna shoot this one while non talker up there, Miss Shay Shay up there, who just
Oh my
smiling and
goodness.
laughing. If you could trade bodies with the opposite sex for a week, what's the first thing you doing?
I mean, honestly, the first thing
Or just talk about what you gonna do. What you gonna do as a man?
as a man, I'm probably really just gonna be like, okay, how young am I?
We say you in your prime. You what?
We know what you're about to say, but go ahead.
You
I'm
30.
definitely gonna I'm definitely
Listen,
gonna be a hoe because it's just like it's celebrated in the like the men community, and then the women community like
What
they
community? Go
have
ahead.
no, yeah, well, boy community, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like you never would have that phase as a woman, and you can be a hoe as a
Disagree.
man. I mean,
All
yeah,
right.
you can have that phase for sure, but it's frowned upon. Whereas for men, it's smiled upon. So I would be on that type of time if I was a man for sure.
so you gonna go have a good time off the rip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
got you. What you thinking, Coral? What you gonna do if you was the opposite sex? What you doing?
man, I gotta say no homo. I can't think of myself like that. And I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
that's
bro.
a good. That's a good answer, bro. I'm sorry.
No homo. I
Yeah,
can't I
I'm in
can't picture
agreement with
Really?
myself.
you.
I don't even want to think about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, I ain't can't do it.
You said you can't.
Can't do it.
I ain't got nothing for you. I'm sorry.
All right,
No,
listen.
I'm in agreement with you.
I,
I'm following you right now. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you.
That's what y'all gonna do.
So let me,
I can't
so
answer that one. I'm
let's
sorry.
let's take it up a
That ain't my
generation.
wheelhouse. Never thought about it.
You know what? I think I
Let's
would
take it up
I
a
can't even
go
face the
generation.
Shay,
bump
I,
on that
Shay,
one.
I will say this though. It is crazy though. Go
I
ahead.
would be like
No,
having
you good. I'm sorry. Go
conversations
ahead. You
with the
good.
fellas, like, dude, why are you like? Sometimes I think men don't always think things through. To your point, Coral, they go with the visual, right? And sometimes I think that they There's bad decisions that could have been better. And so if I had to move in that direction, I would hope that I would be able to have conversation with some of my boys and some of my guys where they were able to hear me and say before they go down that rabbit hole, that's not a good one to go down, right? Because of the physical. No, no, no. Let me
That's
just
the
tell you.
therapist in you. Knock it off.
Mm-mm.
Shay, the
No,
real answer.
listen,
So that's the therapist in you. Shay said she gonna go be a hoe,
listen.
and
Now, honey, if you guys
She
a woman,
gonna
they
run through
wouldn't
crews.
care. But
Shay
no,
gave the real answer. You being a therapist.
no, listen.
Listen,
I
you
have a
being a
ton of
therapist,
male
knock it off
friends, right? And I
because
always have, right? And I have always been this person, right? Take the therapist away, right? I have always been this person. I've always been this person. So, and if anybody sees this video, like y'all call in. I am genuinely and authentically who I am. And so you know what? I just sometimes, we can look at me being a sports therapist, right? And me being a former elite athlete and being around a lot of elite male athletes, right? I've seen the game. I've seen it in real time for years. And sometimes I'm kind of like, yeah, no, that's not a good decision. And then it ends up being a bad decision and a bad choice, right? So sometimes I think yeah, yeah, that would be my thing is make better choices. And not to say this is not I'm answering the question based off of what
Right.
Marcus asked. It doesn't have nothing to do with women making bad choices and bad decisions because we make them too, right? But I would say make better choices, right? Make better choices and be better men. I am.
So you gonna infiltrate manhood and go inside the male grouping in the system and tell these cats to make better choices. Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure I heard that clear. Okay.
Shay gave the real answer. Look,
Uh,
we'll go with what Shay said.
we
Shay
go,
gave the
so we gonna run
Shay.
with
Hey, 9 out of 10 women gonna do what Shay
I can
said.
tell you, I'm out of that
Uh-huh.
one. I'm that
so
one.
that's what
That
they gonna go.
Facts.
Man.
No doubt, no doubt.
So back to the question again. We talked before we went live, went on air. Can you
I done
truly be
already said
friends with
my.
your ex while you're
I'm
dating
done.
or married?
What was your piece?
Let Dwayne speak on that.
Okay, can you be cool with your ex? Yeah, y'all can be
What's
cool,
the
but
friend?
friends, I'm sorry. Like y'all define friends. What do you mean by friends? Can you be friends with your ex? I need that definition of like what's just like
So
cordial or would you, I mean y'all cool or like
yes, you may still speak. I mean, obviously you're cordial, but they're still on your social media. If they post a comment, you respond. If you see each other out and about, y'all still talk. Maybe short conversation.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree with that. We all grown. We all adults. Like seriously,
Right.
if I'm not in a relationship with you, that don't mean like at some point like I can't hold this hatred in my heart for what because we didn't work out or whatnot. That's it. I'm sorry. Like I get it. We didn't work out as, but if we can be adults, we can be cool. Like now, it depends on how the relationship ended. I would say that. Now, if somebody did something foul or something like that, then okay. At some point, all right, no, we can't be cool. That we never gonna be friends. But if y'all came to a mutual understanding, this is not gonna work out, or we not for each other or whatnot, y'all can still be cordial and cool or whatnot. Cordial and cool don't pertain to like hanging out or I'm calling you from time to time and we hey what you doing? All that's dead. But I'm saying like as far as I see you out or whatnot, bring it on social media, we can
You
do that.
can't. You
Yeah,
that
I don't see no problem
was
with that.
like an
Cause we all grown
oxymoron.
here. Like
We're
it
all grown, but
just
you
cause we're
can't
not
call them
together don't mean
like that. That doesn't make sense. That was like a double negative,
you say what now?
right? You can't. You can't. You can't. We be grown. We grown, but you can't call him. Like I thought we was grown. The sky is
But
blue.
what we calling to talk about though?
The sky is blue today.
That's my question. We're not
But
together.
so
At this
here's
point,
my
we're separated. I have no connection towards you
here's my
whatsoever.
thing with that, right?
So what are we
And
what are
I
we
and
calling to
and I
talk about?
think when it comes, I'm not a man, but I think when it comes to the man perspective, the male perspective, I think that based off of maybe some of their history, there's plays a influence on why they may not want to do that or what some of their intentions were of the past and possibly even present, right? But I think that you have males and females that occupy this thing called Earth, right? And you have two beings that should be able to communicate with each other, right? I think the bottom line of what we're talking about is mutual respect. I think that's what we're talking about. And if we have mutual respect, why can't that exist? Why can't that exist?
Okay, so let me ask you this question. So you're dating a guy, right? And y'all at
No, no,
home or
listen, she different,
they're
bro.
chilling or whatnot.
She different.
All right, no,
Go
no,
ahead,
I
though.
gotta finish this part. This is a
Go ahead.
question. I
She
just got a
different,
question,
though.
bro.
Go ahead, though. You ain't hear the pre-conversation, but go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
What you walked in on?
So y'all chilling, watching a movie or whatnot, chilling at the house or whatnot. She gets, you get a phone call. Well, he gets a. I'm playing the opposite. He gets a phone call, and he said, "All right," and just start talking on the phone or whatnot. And then you ask, "Oh, who was that?" "Oh, that's my ex. We just talking or whatnot." Or she just asked me how my day went,
So
or
there's
X, Y,
so
and Z.
many
You wouldn't have an
factors
issue with
that,
that?
like, you can't just ask that question. So you can't ask that question. How
Okay,
long have
I'm
we
listening.
been dating? Do we have no,
No, you know.
listen. How long
Rewind,
have we been
rewind. Go back.
dating?
I'm sorry.
Have you been messing around with her since we've been messing
All
around?
right, I'm listening.
Do you guys have a history of being in and out of relations? There's so many factors that play. What type of relationship do we have? Right?
What does that got to do?
It has a lot to do with
What
it,
does that got?
right?
Okay.
Well,
All
here's
right.
the thing. First
She
of all,
hit you
I
with
would
that
hope
great
that he
Okay.
wouldn't
energy.
even
What
answer
does
the
that
phone
got to
call
do with
in
me
that
and you?
moment,
If me and
right?
you
If
are
we're
dating,
sitting down watching a movie respectfully, right? We're talking about mutual respect. What does but if we're
but you said
having
we all
quality
adults
time and
though,
we're
so
watching TV and watching a movie, right? Why would he answer that call? And even if he didn't, I would say if he didn't answer the phone and said, "Oh, that was my ex such and such," right? We keep on watching the movie. I would have an issue. Probably, I may have an issue if he picked.
Dwayne, do you want to
What
have
you
a
say,
number
Ron?
block? His number block if they no longer together?
okay.
Do you think that number should have been blocked now that you're in a new relationship and you don't have that relationship?
I don't feel like if it was a previous relationship, like I'm not saying that you need to
Another
block the
number.
person, but I'm saying like as far as phone calls and like y'all talking and stuff like that, no, 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 no. I'm
So,
sorry.
so
What
Miss
you
That's
J,
just
say,
so
Ron?
Miss
how
J,
I. That, everybody different, but that's just how I feel. Like if you and this dude is not in a relationship and this was your ex or whatnot, why are you still like feel the need to him texting you or calling
Contradicting
you?
what you said in the
I'm sorry,
beginning. You
I
said it was
disagree. I'm
okay
not
in the
saying y'all can't
beginning.
be.
In the beginning of
What's that?
at the beginning of the question, you said it was okay.
I said it's okay for y'all to be social media, y'all talk to each other, be cordial or whatnot. I didn't say that it's cool for y'all to be calling each other on the phone and stuff, be talking and stuff like that. I disagree with that. I disagree with that part. I disagree with that. I'm sorry. I completely disagree.
You're allowed to
No.
be associates, is what you're saying,
Yes,
essentially.
man, it's
I
cool. I'm
said
not
We're
telling you to
not
hate the
saying
person.
that.
I'm telling you to hate the person, but y'all have y'all didn't have a friendship before. Y'all had a little relationship. That's something that I am trying to pursue with you, right? And I know there's a history of that. This person at one point in time had your attention, had your heart, or whatnot. So now I'm trying to pursue this, right? And now this person still,
You
because
just
I
coming
know
out.
how dudes work. I know how, because a lot of times dudes call. Yeah, I'm keep going. I know how dudes think. If they
Boundaries.
feel like I can call you or text you whenever I want to, and she call, respond, and she going a lot of times I still got her. Don't worry about it. I can still get there whenever I want to. So as a man, it's like, no, I feel like you should shut that down at some point. Why are you still calling and texting me? We're not together no more. We're still cool. I ain't got no hatred towards you. We're still good. But why are you still calling and the fact that you were still, and to me as a dude, why are you still entertaining him? That's my whole thing. Because I know you know how males are. Dudes are hunters. That's how we think. We pursue. That's what we do. So if a dude y'all not together, you might think as oh I'm just cool. We all adults. We should be okay with me just talking to him. I know how men think. Men think okay cool yeah I used to
Question.
mess around. I used to fuck around with her. But guess what?
Is
I'm
that
gonna
a
call she. Guess
cultural
what? But she
thing?
called and text me back. I still got her. I still
Is
got
that
her.
a cultural thing?
If I want to hit her, I can still hit her. That's how
That's
dudes think. I'm
cultural.
sorry. Huh? It's not. I'm okay. I don't. It's not a cultural thing. It's just how men are, just in general. To, I'm not telling you like I'm not saying like a lot of times with women feel like, okay, well, me talking to this man is me, okay, telling him to see a hope there. I'm not telling you that's what you're doing, but
You know what?
from
I
a
have
male
a lot of men
perspective,
friends, and
that's how he
I
gonna take
hear
it. I'm
you.
telling you.
I understand
If,
exactly
if,
what
if
you're
a dude
saying.
feel like he's used to mess around and fuck around with some chick, and he feel like he sliding her DMs or he call her or talk to her afterwards and she him back and still entertaining him, he gonna feel like, well, we was having sex and doing what we was doing before, and guess what? I hit her up and she still hitting me back, although she got a man. So she still. I'm
Disagreeing
telling
with
you. I'm
the
telling you. I'm sorry.
scenarios that you're given.
That's
I
what it is.
agree with everything that you're saying because it does. It happens every day. However, I still, in answering the question, do believe that men and women, after relationships are over, can still be friends. I still believe that, right? But I hear everything that you're saying, and yes, it happens. What you say?
Friendships with boundaries, though, with certain boundaries. Friends with certain boundaries. I'm not saying friends with certain boundaries.
What do you think,
Marcus, what
Shay?
you think? How
Because
about
I see
that?
you up there. What do you think? Well, I'm gonna answer right after Shay.
Okay. I personally am not friends with exes like that, so I don't know like what we would be talking about or be friends about. Now I can see people do it. That's if that worked for them, you know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking it, but over here
But
in my book,
Shay,
like
what was your
I'm
reasoning
good on that.
earlier when that
And
question was brought up? What was your reasoning as to why?
I see it would make sense if like there was like children, you know, you have your parents to a mutual child, you know, then you need to be able to communicate cordially or be friends in that perspective. But other than that, like if I cut ties with you, like I don't have a reason to continue to speak to you because like we don't have anything in common. We were together because for this common goal, the common goal is not aligned. We separate. That's how I see it. But I mean, my friends think I'm a flight risk. They think I cut people off easily. So also, I'm probably not the best to ask.
I got you. For me, it's real simple. I think it'll be kind of disrespectful, right? Especially if the opposite side is uncomfortable. If the opposite side is uncomfortable with disrespect, you just got to cut it off, right? But I do believe if you left on good terms, y'all just real cool. But if it's a problem for the other side, then you just got to cut it off. It's disrespectful. And one thing about men is we
Really?
operate on
Did
respect.
you really say
I
that?
know females
Did you?
operate on love, men
Did
operate
you?
on respect. Oh yeah, do we do? It does. We do. If you look at anything in regards to men, when you
So,
disrespect them,
not that I'm
that's
leading
when
this
they
forward
that's when
because
they
I'm
bubble they
not,
light
but
go off.
let's touch on that right there. What I heard, look, therapist. What I heard you say was
Uh-huh.
that men
Huh?
respect is important. Respect is
They
mandatory.
operate.
So if
It's
respect
mandatory.
is mandatory, is it
Respect
one sided?
respect is more important than love.
Why
No,
is
it's not one-sided, but one can be more dominant, right? And so for men, respect is more dominant for
Let
them.
me ask. Let me. Can I interject this question real quick for Shay and Mallory? Mallory, we already went through it. Shay and Mallory, respect or loyalty?
come
Which do
on?
you choose?
I'm loyal, right? I'm loyal.
Say, prove your point that quick,
Yeah, that's
Marcus.
I
Prove
can't
your point
answer it.
that
Why I
quick.
gotta choose? That's the thing. Why
if
I
you're
gotta choose?
loyal.
Is
If
they're
No,
you're
no,
equal.
no,
loyal,
no.
you
For the
gotta
sake of this
respect them.
conversation, listen. Hold on.
If I'm loyal to
Just
somebody, I
choose
respect
one.
them.
Just choose one. If you had to choose between respect and loyalty,
Right.
no, 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 no,
And
See,
vice
And so
versa. They
here's my
they go
thing.
hand in
If
hand.
we'll
no,
Exactly.
answer
they
That's what
this
I'm
don't.
question
saying.
because
No, they don't.
we
No, they don't.
it sounds that way.
No,
Girl
no, they
math
don't.
50
but
Because
but
plus
listen,
50% plus
listen.
50%, 100%.
Guys don't operate like that. Guys don't operate like that.
But we do.
Because I could demand somebody to respect me. I'm choosing respect over loyalty. Just you're gonna have to respect. Even if you fall off and you're not loyal to me anymore. You my right hand man, you ain't loyal to me. We came up
Loyal
together,
to
we was in
me
the
either.
street together, we was getting money together. Oh, I got that loyalty. You got my back. But I could lose that loyalty, but you're gonna respect me as a man at the end of the day. That's all Marcus was saying. That's my point I was trying to take.
well,
That
that's
women's
your
gonna choose loyalty
opinion,
over respect, and
right?
man demands his respect.
Right. But again, when we come
We
back
got we
to
got
the
other men on
respect
the
thing,
panel.
is respect
Ask
one
them.
sided, right? Because
Dwayne,
we
where
do
you at?
know that
Uh,
Dwayne,
oftentimes we do
no,
know
res-
that
Respect
oftentimes
is both sides.
in the relationship, not always, not always, the man steps out and cheats, and the man is disrespecting the woman, and the woman allows that to happen when she stays, when she doesn't do anything about it. So I'm confused when you say that respect is everything, because if respect was everything, it wouldn't be one sided. So no.
What I'm saying to you is in regards to certain things,
Just
men
saying,
value
but
respect more. That's what I'm saying to you. Like we value you, women provide. Y'all value respect. We understand that portion, right? All I'm saying is if we're looking at a one and a two, respect is gonna be one.
To what I'm saying. I hear you. Respect, men for men, respect is everything, right? But it cannot be one sided, is what I'm saying. You can't expect a person to
We agree with that.
Yeah,
We agree with
with
that.
that.
Never said it was. It shouldn't be.
We agree with that. We're not saying that. We're not saying that it doesn't have to be. It shouldn't be. We saying it should be, but we just put in the category A and B. A comes before B in the alphabet. Last I checked, Dwayne. I think he's gonna say respect. Marcus gonna say respect. Ron gonna say respect. Shay said loyalty, and you lean towards loyalty. That proves what we were saying. That's all. But we not disagreeing with what you're saying. We're
Because
not
I
disagreeing
agree. I
with that.
agree. Respect is
But see, she putting her foot in her mouth, Marcus, because I asked her previously before we went live. And to what we were saying, and I'm gonna bring this back up. I said if the other party, if your man was not comfortable with it, Shay laughing because she know what I'm going at. If I said your man was not comfortable with you being friends with the opposite sex, and we'll take out the kids and all of that good stuff, but your ex, if he was not happy with that, would you cut that short? And you said no. Therefore, you disrespected him. And I even said that that man should fall back. That ex friend, he should understand and fall back. Like, okay, I have my chance. I want happiness for you, so I'm gonna fall back. Our friendship, we still be cool, but with boundaries, as Dwayne was saying. But you were
I
saying
guess I'm
that
looking
you
at
wouldn't
it,
even
and
stop. I'm
I'm
not
looking
putting
at
you
it through my
somebody
lens and
on a
through my
side pocket because so
experiences, right?
no, that's
And the
disrespect.
loyalty that I have with my friendships, right? My loyalty to my family and my friends is everything, right? And so because I'm loyal, I'm not going to disrespect. So therefore, no. So I'm not going to disrespect. But if I'm loyal to somebody,
But that's what.
hold
That's
on.
what.
If
Hold on,
I'm
hold on.
loyal
All
to
right.
somebody
That's
and
what
I'm
he's saying
committed to
though. That
somebody, my and let's go back to some of the conversations we had before we were recorded. But I think you brought this up intentionally, but that's okay, right? You wanted to make sure you got that part on the video, so we're gonna go with. All right, look, look. So now you know who you're dealing with. Now you know who you're dealing with. Look, I knew exactly what you were doing, but that's okay. So going back to, I'm gonna always be loyal and committed to the people that love me, right? And I'm never going to ever intentionally disrespect anyone, right? Has it happened before? Absolutely. Right? Will it happen again? Possibly. Right? Why? Because I'm not perfect. But the point earlier was, and I'm speaking from example. I'm from experience, right? I was married and I had male friends and I had exes that were in relationships with. And up to for years, there wasn't an issue. And then there became an issue. And I was not going to give up, given the situation and the circumstances. I did not give up the friendship, given the situation and the circumstances, right? If it had been value, if it had been a different probably reason, absolutely, right? Because again, look at me, look, I'm a little warm. I wouldn't want my significant other to feel uncomfortable, right? But we also got to make sure that that person is at a place where you can have a person that's always uncomfortable. So I got to give up all of my friends because you're always uncomfortable, right? So that's all I'm saying is making sure that one, every situation is different. but making sure that it's a healthy relationship. If it's a healthy relationship, that healthy relationship can sustain anything, right? But if you've got an unhealthy, go ahead, go ahead.
It's not getting there because in the very beginning, you didn't give
The
the
new
you didn't give the
relationship was
you
already
didn't give the new
established,
relationship chance to get
right?
healthy. You started it
Yeah.
out unhealthy. No, no, not by the question we asked. Not by the question we asked. I said if you meet a man and you starting to meet this man and you start in a relationship and he's
Not this
uncomfortable
man.
with
No,
barring no children, no stuff like that. Of
not this
course,
man.
of
Look at
course,
me.
like
I
Shay
am
said, if there's
fine.
children involved, huh?
And that's the thing, though. You
You
want to
stressing her
get
out.
For somebody that I've been
you
friends
want
with
to
for
get
30, 40 years, in meeting a new man that I don't know and don't know if it's gonna even last.
But that's the thing, though. You're not giving up a friendship. That's what I'm saying.
Why
It's
does
a difference. Like
this man
you're
even
trying to
know
pursue
about
a
this act
relationship with this
at
other
this
man or
point?
whatnot.
Because we're
You had
pursuing
this with
something.
this other person.
Pursuing.
Exactly. And at that point, if he's uncomfortable, that should make you uncomfortable as well, right? I'm sorry. I'm
Is
not
it
going
a
to.
significant
My
other?
significant
Is
others,
it
they,
getting
if
to know
anything,
each
they're
other? Like,
uncomfortable about
is it the
with
wife?
somebody
Like, what
of the
is it?
opposite.
Like, we gotta define exactly what it is. Is it a friendship? Is it a relationship?
I think they said it was a new relationship.
If it's a new relationship, I get it. If you have
Oh,
a child
significant.
by another man, or that it's a child involved, or something like that, I get that. Y'all have a connection that's not going to separate at that end. So I get that. But all I'm saying is, if you're pursuing a relationship with somebody, and you have somebody in your past, you have no connection as far as no children or nothing with, and this dude is telling you that they are uncomfortable with the relationship that y'all have, or something that's going on, or whatnot. I'm sorry. That's if you want to actually pursue something with this other person or whatnot. The fact that they're
Right.
telling you
It should tell me.
uncomfortable should like
It
should
might
tell
be
you
a red
something.
flag, and I
That should
might
be
say,
like, okay, you're
"Bro,
uncomfortable or whatnot.
You the red flag. You the red flag. Because I have a little point for you though, Mallory. I see your point. Like not in the very
conversation. There has
beginning.
to
I
be
can say that.
conversation."
There has to be a benchmark. But no, yeah, conversation. But if the end of conversation, he's telling he's uncomfortable with it. As you guys get more and more serious, I think that relationship should trump your
Think
friendship.
about that.
But if
And
it doesn't,
I'm gonna
that's
use
an
because
this
issue.
example.
That's an issue. If your
I'm gonna
relationship
use
because at that point, all y'all have is a friendship. At that point, all y'all have is a friendship. This ex that you talk to, y'all don't have no relationship or nothing going forward at this point. So all y'all have is a friendship. That's all it is. So if you're actually pursuing this person and y'all trying to build something or whatnot, or build a relationship, that should trump whatever friendship you have
but
with that other
but you're
person in the
speaking to
past.
somebody who
Well, we have to ask her though. Let's ask her flat out. What take precedence for you though? Hold on, hold on. Let me ask you this: what takes precedence for you? A relationship or a
it is a
friendship? Which
relationship.
takes precedence?
A friendship
Because
is a relationship.
however you answer this question, I can no longer debate it with you, huh?
Oh wow! I'm sorry. I said that out loud.
So she already said friends and family.
Yeah, she said
So
friends.
she did say friends and family. So that's exactly what is going
I think the
That
respectful
that's her
thing
to
is
be the
thing.
most
to
important.
introduce the two. If you try to hide the two,
And why
okay, now
can't
my
they
antennas
establish
go up. But
something?
if you
Like,
introduce them,
why can't they establish
and
something?
like, hey,
You know
What
what?
do we decide?
What is the difference
So
between
you know what
me
I think?
I'm saying, I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just saying, what do we
playing devil's
establish it? Like,
advocate with some of this that I am asking, right? But why can't you introduce that person that's a male to your friend just like you introduce your female friend?
I don't want to meet him. What? I don't know this. I'm sorry. I don't know this dude. We have that. I have no connection toward him whatsoever. I don't. And the fact that you will want me
Where
to
I
meet this
didn't say
person,
I want you to
that's a
meet
red flag in
him.
itself. Why you want me to meet this dude?
yeah, I don't.
Hey, Marcus, can I get a little
But you
raw and
want to do
uncut real
anyway.
quick?
Go ahead.
So you want me to meet this guy who had your legs behind your back, who up in
That
the air. You want me to be friends with him? Are you serious? What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You need some better male friends because you got some, but you need
amazing
some better male
friend.
friends
And I have
because you don't know as
longevity
much
with
about
my
the male
friends.
gender as you think you do.
I have
Listen,
amazing
you don't.
males and females. Friends.
You need some better male friends.
So I got a question
I'm
though.
I
not
have
saying
real
that they're
male
not
friends.
amazing, but you need some
Right. I
real
have real
male
male friends.
friends.
So given the
And my
current
real
scenario, given the
male
current
friends
scenario,
might agree with you. Some of them might agree with you.
do you believe this
I have
invites
real male friends.
insecurities?
And Marcus, I'm glad you say that. Because I will say this though, Marcus, I'm glad you said that. Because the first thing, what Valerie's saying, I disagree with it, or whatever it might be. The first thing somebody will say in combating it and say, well, you're just being insecure or whatnot. Oh, you should be secure in your manhood or whatnot. You should be okay with us being friends or whatnot. Or you should be okay with that's not an excuse. I'm sorry. That's not an excuse. That's not being because men, we in general, we will like I said, we are men. We want like the woman that we're dating or we're pursuing or whatnot. It's a thing that comes with manhood of okay, that's mine or whatnot. That's not saying okay, well, you can't talk to nobody else, you can't have no friends. I'm not saying that. But if it's somebody that you had in your past, like Carl said, that you was fucking around with or something like that, and that you wanted to be cool with him or whatnot, oh, that's just my friend. Oh, who that? That's my friend that used to fuck me. He just called him. No, no, I'm sorry. What do y'all have to talk about? I'm sorry. What do y'all talk about? No. Hell no. 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 Cause
Well, how do you know how the game go? Because you're the game. That's why you
I
would
mean,
have an issue with it. That is why. That is
I ain't saying
why
I.
you have an issue with it. And you guys are making my point
Hey,
as to
hey,
why.
listen to me. Listen to me.
You just told on yourself. You just
I'm
told on
telling you
yourself
how men
why you
think.
would have an
I'm telling you how we think.
issue. You
No, I didn't. Okay, all right.
on yourself.
All right.
Point taken.
All right.
So I'll ask this question. So let's take it up a generation. Now I'll start with you, Michelle. Is it okay to have a work spouse, a work husband, or a work wife?
Here we go. Valerie gonna say yeah.
No, I'm gonna definitely say no.
Okay.
That's disrespectful for sure. Yeah. And I'm a millennial, so I don't know. I speak for the millennials.
Okay, okay.
Well, you all know Mallory gonna say yeah. So let's
Yeah.
get to
I
somebody
know.
another question. She thinks it's okay. Yeah, she got a work bay. She got a work bay, a wig husband, a work side dude. One dude go get the staplers. One dude get the paper. One dude bring a lunch.
Ron,
She
for
got a work bay, a
clarification
work side
purposes,
dude. Yeah, she
what
got
does
all
that
that. She
look
got
like?
all that.
Yes.
Marcus, you
You
better
know
try to find
the
a
fact
middle
that you
ground.
the fact that you asked
Ron,
that
please
told me everything in this
clarify
book.
that
Don't worry about
question
it.
for
Yeah,
me.
no, we good on that one.
We
Marcus
already
could
know
have
your
been my
answer.
work husband.
Some people throw that
Marcus,
term out loosely.
Marcus, 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 you
Because
my
you
work
have several, so
husband.
you have
Marcus,
the different categories. You got a work
Marcus,
hubby,
were you my
you
work
got a work
husband?
bay, and you got a work side piece. She got all three. All right.
Marcus, did we ever go to lunch? Did I
Then I
talk to
get
you
demoted to
outside of
going to get
work?
papers off the copier.
Marcus,
Shit.
Marcus, we
Say
go
that
to lunch
again.
together. Did we talk outside of
Yes.
work together?
Nah, you was good boundaries. I have to give you I'll give you your respect on that one. I give it to you.
I don't know why y'all trying to make me
So
this
let me try
villain.
this question then before we wrap it
People
up.
love
So
me.
is no, you good, you good, you good. This is good. This is good. This is
Emotional
good.
is worse.
Is emotional cheating worse than physical cheating?
No, I'm
I
falling
was
back for
definitely
the rest
Elaborate
agree.
on
of
that,
the for
Mallory
the rest
and
of the
Shay,
night
if you want to
because y'all
comment after
trying
that
to
too.
just y'all trying to pull me. Y'all gonna
No,
have the
man, we
viewers
good.
not liking me.
No.
Your work bay wants you to respond.
Look, I gotta make the viewers like me. I'm done for the night. I'm gonna transition that question to Carl.
You gonna be a
What?
crowd favorite. Don't worry about
Ron's previous question.
What question you transitioning to me? That's a loaded question, and I think you're gonna get a different answer from a different gender because we all know that if well, I'm not saying wrong or right. Let me put that out there first and foremost. But if a female cheats, it's more emotional. She's no longer there in that relationship mentally. A male is more physical. So I don't really have. I don't know which one is worse. I think both is detrimental. I think both is damaging. Both is bad. I just think depends on the gender who you ask, you'll get a different response.
Okay. I got you. What was your Shay, what
Marcus,
was
what was
yours?
yours?
Mine that is emotional is worse. Yeah.
Emotional. No, I agree with Cora on that one. I think it's bad across the board, and it just depends on who you are and how you're made up. Which one will
Ron,
just be more damaging? But I think both of them are damaging.
As a man or woman thinking, so are they. So in your mind, if you've gone there, you went there.
You there already.
Yeah, you're there already.
So I got one for you. I know we're gonna wrap up in a second, but I got one for y'all. If y'all dating someone, right, and you
I have
spent the night over their
no
house,
no answer.
outside of your undergarments,
Why would you leave
what would you
something there?
leave
Why
at
would
that
you leave
person's
something there?
house to let somebody know that you've been there?
Like, who
Nothing.
y'all be dating? That's what
Because
I'm
you're gonna mark your
thinking of. Like,
territory.
who
You want
y'all
somebody
dating?
to
I'm
know.
Who
good.
these women? Who these women
What if
be
I need what
dating?
I
Well,
left? I'm just
Who
gonna
these
take everything
men?
back with me.
Do what?
what you gonna leave?
Why are you
Something
leaving something?
non-essential. What you gonna
Like,
leave?
who thinks like that?
I
Why
ain't
are
leaving
you
nothing.
leaving something?
Ain't leaving nothing.
Shay, stop.
I don't even like staying at other people's houses.
What do you? Why y'all acting like
My house
people
probably
don't
better
do
than
certain
that.
stuff?
Marcus, what you leaving?
Come on now, we gonna talk now. People left
Marcus, what you
undergarments.
leaving?
People have left
What you?
boxers. People have left their deodorants. I'm just asking. I'm asking. Come on now, you gonna leave
But
something?
I'm trying to figure out.
Like I've heard
This is what's
somebody.
going
I
on.
heard somebody say that they sprayed the person's
Who are these
pillow
people
with their spray the smell.
doing these things? These people.
Yeah, no.
This is what I'm
Mal,
talking
Mal,
about.
I'm,
The man
Your therapist had. That's their
Mallory,
attachment
I don't
style.
disagree with you. I don't disagree with you a lot tonight, Mallory, but I agree with you on this one.
Huh? No, I'm saying some people leave to mark their territory. It's something that happens. So my question is, what would you do if you just had to do something? I just gave you an example. I know somebody who said they sprayed the pillow
You
because
don't
they don't
think
want
after
that
that
person.
person leave, this person ain't gonna wash a damn pillowcase or something, bro? I mean,
Right.
Well,
like,
you better wash it. I mean, I'm just that was my thing. You better watch it for IG purposes. But I'm just saying, some people do crazy stuff. So y'all wouldn't leave nothing. So this the question: have y'all left something? What was something embarrassing that y'all left? You had to return to go get.
Forgot. Not left on purpose.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what you forgot. What do you might have left?
Might have left a necklace or a watch or
That's what I'm about to
something
say.
like
Some
that.
kind of
You know what I'm
jewelry, a
saying?
watch, or something like that. I don't left or
Yeah,
something.
something like that. It was forgot. It wasn't on purpose type
It wasn't
shit.
like I'm gonna leave this shit here for the next nigga to see that I was here. Like, who does that? I'm sorry.
Guys, we
Yeah,
don't rock like that.
yeah. I'd be surprised people do it. But that's cool. I got you. So, and Mallory, you all quiet.
Just,
Shinshi
I'm
all
running
quiet.
it.
Yeah,
What do you mean I'm
Quiet.
quiet?
hey, they
I'm asking
perpetrate.
the
Yeah.
I asked
No,
the
We,
I like
question.
y'all. Y'all cool. Y'all good with
Who
me.
is doing that? Like, who are y'all
we
dating
quiet.
that is doing this? Who are y'all interacting with that's doing this? Like, that's all I'm saying.
I agree with you on
I
that,
don't.
Mallory.
That's the
I
one
gotta
thing we
agree
can
with
agree on tonight, huh, Cole? That's the one thing we
yeah,
can
You
agree
yeah,
had
on.
a couple of
Agree.
drinks, Carl. Don't
yeah,
say like
that, yeah. I agree with you.
Hey, I'm gonna leave it alone. You don't want to give up your secrets. I'm gonna leave it.
Right, right, right. So for the whole panel, and I'll let everybody get an opportunity on this one. Can you truly leave the past in the past when an argument comes up?
that's that. I think that's personality.
And who brings
There's
it up
so
now?
many factors when you're asking these questions. There's so many factors to yeah. Like there's so many factors that play a part in that in a response to that question, right?
But do you deal with the issue at
No,
hand,
I
or
don't. I
do you
don't.
go back
I
and
don't.
like, okay, I remember when
I
you
don't.
did this?
Now, has it happened to me? Yeah, I may have done it, but it's not like a. I'm not gonna say I've never done it, but it's not a common practice for me to go back and be like, "Well, you did this, right?" Now, my kids might say otherwise, but as far as a relationship,
Yeah, and I think as you get a little bit older, you get more comfortable in relationships. Like for an example, where I'm at, I just like to deal with stuff and keep it moving. Right? I value peace so much more now than anything else. And my whole thing is you listen to understand and not listen to respond. So I just want to get what it is, knock it out, and we could just move on. So that's where I'm at right now. So I don't like bringing up the past because it's counterproductive when you're trying to move forward. So that's where I would say I'm at right now, just because it's too much going on in life, man. I gotta stay focused, and I just need to knock this one out and keep it moving.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say like maybe in my 20s, I might have would have did something like that, but probably by like honestly late 20s to like through now. And if it's something that's making me that uncomfortable, I'm not like forgiving it to bring it back up. You're not. It's not gonna be no later with us to bring it back
And
up.
let me say this,
So
right? What's the intent behind
because
it,
you
right?
whether
Because I
you
do
were what
believe
you
that you
how you forgiving
can use the
somebody.
past and things that happened in the past as examples or reasons or to have some type of conversation or discussion, right? So again, I think there's so many factors, with all the questions that you guys are asking. But I think, yeah, do we use the past to help us? Right. But I think, are you speaking more from a malicious intent?
No, I'm just saying in previous conversations, some people will always, in different relationships, some people will always bring up the past to prove a point or just to win an argument. Some people are big on winning, like Marcus said, hey, we're at a point now where, hey, I want to, are you arguing for right or are you arguing to be right?
No comment. Look, no comment on that. Cause I'm gonna get backlash from my friends on that one.
Okay.
Well, this has been good, y'all. So this has been an awesome episode. So I want you all to, hey, reflect on this conversation because we could bring you back for part two. And I think this was good. So Dwayne, you're at the top of the screen, man. Thank you, brother, for being
Seeing
here.
you
Coro,
guys.
Miss
Thank you
Shay,
for the
thank you. And of
invite.
course, Mallory, it's good seeing you again. And to my man Marcus, man, y'all sound like Don Padillas, like peace, love. It's all right. So, hey, y'all, but hey, everybody, to our audience, if this resonated with you, we thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share this podcast, this episode, and comment and put something in the comments for everybody. So till
All right,
next time,
thank
we
you
look forward to
guys.
seeing you all on our next episode. Thank you.